anytime that we're managing insects, weeds, or diseases, we're going to be talking a lot today about what we call integrated pest management. I think many folks are familiar with the concepts and ideas, but especially with growers being generally focused towards organic growing practices. I just wanted to sort of point out some of the things that we think about when we start trying to manage problems in the field. And it doesn't matter if it's a weed, a disease, an insect, or some other problem with soil health. One of the things that's important to always remember is that we want to utilize ecosystem services in order to manage farmer level issues, right? So, this is actually an old figure from an article I read when I was in grad school that kind of changed my perspective on things. And it's a little bit dramatic. I don't know if we need to use the pesticide treadmill term very often, but I think the general concept is a good one. And, if you think about very conventional level systems that utilize a lot of therapeutics like fungicides and pesticides, they generally have a heavy reliance on those. And oftentimes as a result, there's non-target effects on the ecosystem. And as a result, we lose some of the beneficial sides of those ecosystem services. So, for in organic management and with IPM, we want to try and utilize those ecosystem services the best that we can in order to manage our issues. So in the case of weeds are colonizers in the plant ecology, right? And so we utilize things like cover crops that are also colonizers that help, nudge out the weeds in that ecosystem. Similarly, with disease management, we want to try and conserve soil microbial diversity in the soil so that there's a nice diverse community in there. And if something that is potentially a pathogen on a plant, maybe there's hopefully a beneficial organism that will eat it or kill it or compete with it in the rhizosphere. So in some way help reduce the negative effects of those pathogens. And there's lots of examples in the world of pest management and insects where you can think about how some of the native insects that live, on the farm landscape can also benefit the farm system as well too. So one of the things that we want to think about with all of these issues is that total system management and how we can utilize ecosystem services and try and minimize the amount of therapeutics. And you're going to see this slide probably all day from every presenter, but this is what we call the integrated pest management triangle. And essentially it's, sort of what I was talking about before, but the idea that we can utilize our knowledge of, agroecology, but also things like varieties, things like using high tunnels and other environmental control parameters to manage diseases, pests, weeds, so on and so forth.